Cloning. So we've got a number of animals that have been cloned now, and then of course most of the latest type of clone that's gone on has been to do with cloning parts of animals for food production. It's sort of it's strange. It's really strange that you've got a cloned meat and then a plant meat. I would suggest that the plant meat will always taste better than the cloned meat. The cloned meat will be so clean compared to the real animal meat, because of what is only allowed to be added to it, that that I do not believe it can actually taste the same as the regular meat. I reckon the plant meats will actually taste closer to the real meat than a cloned meat will. It'll be interesting to see on that basis what that will look like. The fact is, if people do continue to eat even cloned meat, it will mean that they won't be bothered if somewhere along the line somebody's still producing animals that are farmed in really horrendous ways, or even just killed, because of that will still happen if you're going to have cloned meat. I don't always agree with plant meats for a start as well, because of the chances, because of some are so close that I've been totally I couldn't believe that it wasn't an animal product, the ones that I've tasted. So much so that I have to be more than certain that what I'm finding is actually plant and not an animal, because the similarity is too close, much too close. And it's the same with actually some of the plant milks. There has been a few times that I know that I've had plant milks, but I've been suspicious that they weren't plant milks. And even now, generally, I'm pretty sure I probably wouldn't be able to tell if real plant milk was put in any of my drinks. If real milk, rather, was put in plant. But it's a massively bad situation. It's bad. No, well, it's by far better, but it's bad in the continuation of trying to find things to taste like animals. Now, if humans were donating their cells to grow parts for humans to consume, then I would have no worries, because of humans would be donating on their voluntary basis and not on the using basis of using an animal. Because of, even if you're going to use animals to clone the meats, you are still going to farm the animals. You are going to keep them in areas where they wouldn't normally live. They're not going to be separated from families and communities, ordered to go where we want them to go, very likely medically, under medical supervision for all their lives as well, however long that life will be. But knowing that the situation as it will actually become, is that what they will do is that they will simply take cells from existing farm herds and not separate animals or if they did do separate animals, that would mean still a continuation of the regular farming of animals, as well as a added farming of other animals, just kept. And it's not right. It's not right. Just not right. It can't be right in any way. So that's cleared that. That's sort of cleared that a little bit. There's more detail, of course. I mean, there are numerous scientific reports. The billions of dollars spent. That's the most ridiculous thing of the lot. Billions have been spent on the lab meats. Billions upon billions of dollars and pounds. So many that if just a fraction of those billions was spent on perfecting plant meat products, they could have absolutely everything tasting identical, absolutely identical to the plant meats, identical to the animals right now. And as I've said, at least 2 items I know of are so identical that I was absolutely certain that somebody had put an actual meat products on my plates. And that's how close they already are, and that was over 5 years ago. There's absolutely no sense, no common sense whatsoever to be producing cloned meat from animals, regardless of what people say about that situation, because it's not the case that people are waiting for that meat. No, it is simply not that case. The people that say they are waiting for that meat are simply the people that found another excuse to say, oh, I'm not going to eat meat. I'm not going to stop eating meat. That is all that is. It's not. There's no intention of giving up meat just for lab meat to come along. They're not doing it. And the fact is, if they did try, or did actually, and some of them will have done since they've said that sort of thing, they will have tried the plant meats. And many of those that said they would wait for lab meat have actually already changed to being vegan. It is an absolute tosh, load of tosh. Yeah, it really is incredible. And of course, there's lots of people saying, "Oh, I wait for." They're not. It's their an excuse to not have it. And even if they did, you just put a piece of lab meat and then a plant meat, and give them taste tests. And just like the taste tests that's already been done in numerous places all across the world, the people eating them cannot tell the difference between the meat and the plant meat. It's already a fact. It's a fact with most chicken products. It's a fact with in fact even more so with burgers. It's a fact with steak slices. It's a fact. It's a fact with numerous different animal, plant-made foods. There's no doubt about it that it's just not needed. Cloned meat is not needed, and all those billions that are being wasted on that disgusting idea. It's the equivalent of. Yes, can't even sort of. There's not a clear equivalent, but it's incredible. And the fact is, people becoming vegan or just leaving meat is already happening. It's happening without the lab meat even being around. The only people that are actually going for the lab meats when they come around are people that just want a different taste anyway, which they could easily do with plant meats anyway. So it's just nonsense, absolute nonsense. I'm going to leave it at that, because that's a good little rant on that, because there are too many people who are accepting of the lab meat story, and the lab meat story is that it's, and I will repeat this part because of that, this is the main thing about it. They've gone for the lab, they've gone for trying to produce lab meat because there are other issues around it. It's not purely lab meat. It's a use of development to scientifically investigate very other more sinister things to do with cloning as well. But the basic of it, the basic impetus for it has been that there are lots of people who have got it into their heads that people will not change from meat, and that is all that situation is, when it's not so. People are not waiting for lab meat. When they say that, it is mostly, almost always, an excuse. Give them the taste tests, and don't do the taste tests by telling them first, because as soon as you tell people what the actual product is, they will automatically make a bias that will affect their taste test. Always do the taste tests without them knowing, always. And do not worry that sometimes that taste test may not get the result you want, because of lots of times the different ways things are cooked makes a big difference as to what something will taste anyway, even between plant foods and animal products. So yeah, just do not believe it. It's not right. It's simply not right. I don't know how to make it better for you, but you can always rely on the taste tests. Look up the taste tests in different areas. Look at them and see, because if they're all done with plant meats and the actual animal products, it will. I tell you now, those tests should be enough to show you that people that keep saying they can tell the difference between the plant meats and meats almost always do not exist. Cheers.